Hi everyone, it's been far too long actually. I was supposed to do this video probably about a month ago, or at least a few weeks ago. Just really a follow-up on the Root over Rock Japanese Black Pine course that we did together. And today I'll just quickly show you what your trees should be looking like right now, what sort of growth they should be experiencing, and just talk briefly about some of the tasks that you should be doing with the trees at the moment. So right now, your trees should be growing quite strongly. The buds, the dormant candles or buds that you would have seen on the tree when we did the repotting or did the workshop, should now have extended, and the candles, so they have now become the spring candles, and the new spring needles should be emerging around about now from the candles. The trees should be growing quite vigorously, and hopefully you have not seen any weakening in the trees. If you do, that might be something to do with the post-repotting care. So possibly the first thing that we need to talk about is just watering. Because we are using a very fast-draining soil mix in these trees, a lot of stone and just a little bit of akadama and some carbon, you're going to find that the trees will dry out fairly quickly. So if you find that your candles, they'll start to droop down, that means they are not getting enough water. So then your choice is either to increase your watering, if that doesn't remedy the problem. Usually if you water and in about an hour or two later, you should see that the candles will become erect once more. If that's not happening, then they're probably getting too much sun. So you still have an issue with the roots not being able to get enough water into the candles. So what I would suggest you do then is to move them into less sun again. And then when they are stronger, then you can move them back into full sun. At the moment, these trees are all standing in full sun. The other thing is, of course, going to be to talk about fertilizing. And if your trees, to get the kind of growth that you want on these trees around about now, you need to be fertilizing quite generously. And I'm using a sachet of Bonsai Boost. At the moment, you only need to use one. And then in 3 weeks or so, you can just turn the tree around and put another sachet on the other side. And then when you need to, you can go back to, so another 3 weeks after that, take this bag off, replace that with a new bag, and so you go with alternating continuously. But they need a lot of fertilizer, because that's the way that you're going to get a lot of development this season. The other thing that's very important is that you need to, on a regular basis, spray a fungicide, especially at the moment when the needles are still juvenile, still young, and haven't hardened off yet. They are particularly susceptible to various pine-related fungal infections. So I like using Odeon quite a bit, but it is a good idea to alternate your fungicides, not to use the same one repeatedly. So I would recommend that you use Odeon, and then there's another product also on the website called Unizeb, and those are the two products that I would alternate with. But this is a fungicide only. You then need to use a pesticide as well. I would recommend, I mean, there's quite a few on the website. Anything that is, any of those will really work. But some of them that stand out will be your plant care. You can use that on a monthly basis. So when you spray your fungicide as well, every 3 to 4 weeks. And a nice thing about plant care is that it's systemic and contact. I would definitely suggest you spray preventatively. Don't wait until you see a problem before you spray. It's always better to prevent it from entering your collection to begin with, rather than dealing with a problem later on that is perhaps sort of embedded itself in your collection, particularly things like spider mites. Then there are other various organic treatments as well that you can use. I would just stay away from, before I forget, also always use a wetting agent with any of the products, something like G49 or SK Eco Oil, or there's various wetters and stickers that are available, but definitely use one, whichever one you want to use. I would just stay away from treating something with like a neem oil or a high concentration of SK Eco oil if you're experiencing high temperatures. So above sort of 30 degrees, 35 degrees, the oil-based treatments can burn your plants. So I would stay away from those if it's very hot. Otherwise, they are very good products to be used at all other times of the year. Okay, so we've covered really the bare essentials. At the moment, it's really just about fertilizing, sunlight, and water. The benefit of using a very free draining soil mix, which I gave you with the kit, is that you will be forced to water a bit more, which is great, because then when you're using solid fertilizers, every time you water, you're going to get some nutrients going into the soil and thus fertilizing your trees. So you can really go crazy with the fertilizer. Watch out for drooping candles. It's an indication of underwatering or excess sun, the tree unable to absorb enough water into the candles. Do spray preventatively, as I've mentioned to you. And then at the moment you're not going to be doing any wiring as such, or any pruning. Don't prune anything off. You want as many candles, or rather not candles, needles as possible. So don't reduce any of the needles at this stage. The next follow-up will be probably in autumn that I'll do with you, and then we'll be talking about a few other techniques and just reviewing your progress. Take a look at what your trees look like versus mine. I've kept one of each from each of the workshops, so I have reference for that, and then you can compare. It's not a competition. Enjoy your trees, and until next time, thank you and take care. Bye-bye.